This is the Denver Gazette, and they are reporting that the Venezuelan prison gang Tren de Aragua has made Denver their headquarters. So let's see what they say. The Venezuelan prison gang known as Tren de Aragua eyed Denver as its headquarters in the U.S. According to internal communications with the Aurora Police Department, the internal communications were citing federal intelligence reports. So that's what it says down there. I believe this. Colorado is also the state. I don't know if you remember, there were inside reports that were saying that basically they've been given the green light, this gang, to go after members of law enforcement. I was in Denver just a few weeks ago, and I've talked about this a few times, maybe not on this platform, but just want to give you my experience there. By the way, Denver is also Aurora, Colorado, where you're hearing about all of the apartment takeovers. That's essentially a suburb of Denver, so they're very close. There is a strange feeling in Denver, the feeling that I got. And you do see the migrant issue. If you're just walking down certain streets, you'll see people asking for money, doing DoorDash. On some intersections, they're washing windows. So as soon as people stop in an intersection, they'll all run in the middle and try to get you to pay to wash their windows. And just some really, really suspicious looking people on top of that walking around. So I was in Capitol Hill. It's like a really nice historic neighborhood. They have the Molly Brown house. They have like historic mansions. And I was staying at a really nice B&B, bed and breakfast, not Airbnb. And when I was walking home, I saw this woman. This is a really like upper, like downtown, really trendy neighborhood. Very vegan, if that gives you an idea. But this woman, I was walking behind her for like 6 blocks. I was walking back, and I noticed her because it's odd. Usually you're not walking behind someone that long when you're in a neighborhood like that because you're turning a lot. But I ended up behind her, and I noticed after a while that, first of all, it was really, really hot outside, and she was wearing jeans, tennis shoes, and a zipped up hoodie with the hood over her head and her hands in her pockets. She didn't have anything, no purse, nothing. I finally saw her profile because she looked back at me a few times, and her face was like all tatted up, really, really rough looking, maybe like late 20s, early 30s, but she'd definitely been through a few things, a lot of tattoos all over her face. And she was just kind of walking, like looking around, not really doing anything, almost like she's just casing the place, or I don't know. It was very out of place. But it's just little things like that you notice. It definitely feels like there is an underbelly of something that is brewing. It's not comfortable. That's how I felt. Then again, I'm a lot more plugged in than most people. But since we're on this topic, I want to show you something else that I just watched. This is from Wisconsin, okay? Wisconsin. And they recently had a judicial hearing in Wisconsin, or a committee hearing in Wisconsin about the migrant crisis there. Remind you, that's not a border state, Wisconsin. And I want you to hear what this sheriff said about cartel.
At transition of power to the Biden administration, because under Trump's administration, they were doing a good thing. And then all of a sudden it just fell off the table and nothing happened. 2 years later, into the Biden-Harris administration, we have to come back and arrest this guy, and we have possession with intent to deliver more than 50 grams of meth, possession with intent to deliver marijuana, 200 grams to 1,000 grams, maintaining a drug trafficking place, possession of drug paraphernalia, 3 counts of manufacturing and delivery of methamphetamine. Blows me away. We have him in prison now. The state is now paying for him to be in prison. He shouldn't have been here in the first place. And the state is going to pay for him to be in prison for 18 and a half years and then have him on supervised release for 10 years when he shouldn't be here in the first place or should be in federal prison. That is a problem. That is a problem that's now on the Wisconsin taxpayers to take care of him. Another comment that was made earlier about law enforcement in other countries. We don't have them taking a hold on our state here in Wisconsin yet. It's coming. We will have more cartel members coming into the state of Wisconsin. We will have more instances of individuals threatening our families. It's going to happen, just like it happens in Mexico, if this continues, if we don't stop this. I'm fearful for my family. I'm fearful for the family of those that serve with me. That when we have cartel members in it, we're going to arrest individuals, that they're going to turn around and say, they're going to hand us that DVD and say, what are you going to do if we don't do something soon?
Our police officers, you all, are not used to this type of organized crime. So let's go back to Denver specifically. Denver, I used to work for Denver Human Services when I lived there a while back, and I attended a gang training one day. Denver has always had a fairly significant Hispanic gang population. The difference between those gangs and the gangs that bigger cities are more used to is they're typically just fighting amongst each other. If an innocent gets hurt, usually that wasn't the intent, doesn't make it any less angering or tragic. I'm just saying usually that's not the intent. That's not the case with some of these gangs, especially Tren de Aragua, who their specialty is trafficking. They have a lot of innocent victims, and they purposely go and they rob and they traffic and they target innocent people. And yeah, in other countries, that's third world countries, that's how they are with the police. They own the police. And another thing is that a lot of these migrants, they're not necessarily all settling in sanctuary cities. We were all joking. Good, let the sanctuary cities handle it. Good. Oh no, they're showing up in small towns. Small town Alabama, small town Ohio, small town Pennsylvania. These are not sanctuary jurisdictions. And you're getting populations that are doubling now in some of these small little areas with just a few thousand people. So imagine the strain that does on these smaller police departments. How easy would it be if you just have a small sheriff's department with just a few people working there because you only have a certain population? How are they going to handle this type of organized crime? And we're already seeing that Denver is struggling, and that's a decent sized city. They're already struggling. So this is what's happening. And I don't want to fearmonger. I hate to do that. But it will get worse if hopefully someone new doesn't get in office and takes care of it. It's already going to be hard enough to take care of what's already here. Imagine if you have 4 more years of this kind of open border. We're not going to be the same country. We won't be the same country in 2 years, 1 year actually, if something doesn't change and turn around. They've let in so many people, we don't know who they are, and a lot of people are here to not do good things, to prey upon America.